Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. Purplatypus is the name, and welcome to another episode of Dragon Quest Tactics. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what we're doing today. Killing Machine is going down. And now, I gotta preface this with a few things. One, this is not a 100% free-to-play team. You can see over here, why can't I point in the right direction? As you can see over there, there are a few gacha units. However, we use nothing above an A rank, and we did use one, two, I think we're using 2 farmable units and 3 gacha units, but they're all relatively easy to get. So I consider it budget. Free to play doesn't seem possible right now, but budget is definitely very viable. And this is something I think I'll revisit in the future when there's more free to play units available that are good for this fight, where I can then update this with a free to play strategy. But for right now, you probably got these units because you get like 30,000 free gems for playing the game, right? And you've probably done a bunch of polls looking for your S ranks or whatever, so you probably have this stuff already anyway. Second, I got to give a shout out to Jax. Let's come over here to party ranking. I'm going to show off my ranking right now. 884, not particularly good. If we go to top here though, Jax currently number 3 in global. This strategy was strongly influenced, if not just completely done by Jax, to my knowledge. I don't know if it had a first, but Jax is the one who introduced it to me. So this video isn't like, look at Purplatypus's big dick, he's so good at this fucking game, yeah, he's such a... This is really like one thing I'm loving about this game right now is, especially when you're going the more free-to-play route or you're going the budget route, is that it's not like I'm so good at this game that I'm unbelievable. It's really a community effort. You know, it's everyone kind of coming together, find out which units are good for these fights, what strategy you could do, and it's really good. So this is not just me being great. I did develop my own strategy for Dragon Lord, but this is one that I did not develop my own strategy for. But I am going to showcase it here. I know I'm messing with my camera right now. I can't help it. All right. That looks perfect. All right. Awesome. So we're just going to jump into it. There's going to be lots of tips and tricks throughout this, so I recommend watching all of it instead of just the fight. But, you know, once you watch it through once, then you could skip to the fight and rewatch the fight to learn how you do it. I don't know where the fuck I'm going over here. Obviously, we're going to go event verse quest. You can see we got the big PP coming up next. We'll figure that out. Not a lot of people are clearing that right now. It seems to be really hard. All right, so let's take a look at our team. You can see it over here on the left side of the screen. So really the star of this is going to be this guy right here. Can I open him? Can I look at him? Right here, Leery Lout. This guy is basically the cornerstone of the entire technique. You could probably use a stone golem, but I don't actually think he's as good as Leery Lout for this mission due to the mana. He has an ability right here called Cover, which is basically the exact same thing as, you know, it blocks all allies, but it costs like 8 mana, as you can see right here, like nothing. It costs 11 and it goes down 1 for every plus you have. So you basically, this is the reason he's so good. Also, the fact that his resistances are both heavy resistance to the 2 main elements you're going to be fighting this entire fight. We don't even have, if you get him Awakening 5, which you probably should if you're going to do this fight, Awakening 3 will get you there. But Awakening 4 is also a big one. If you get Awakening 4, you get 25 more Sizz resist, and that will make it so it's a little smoother. All right, so he's the cornerstone, and then you're going to kind of see how it goes when we go in here. Also, a quick note when it comes to this equipment here. That sword you see him equipped is very important, very, very, very important that you're not going for these, like, you can go for these special effects that give you plus fizz physical. You don't want those if you can avoid it. What you really want is HP plus. Ideally, you want 3 golden HP pluses for this strategy because his HP is very low, but his defense is very good in this fight. So it could be a little counterintuitive, but this sword is so good because there's 3 plus 48 HPs. I only had the 148 HP and I wasn't able to grind more with stamina. So what I did do is I rolled this. And so I got an extra, 12 defense, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 defense. I know math, and another 23 HP here. So I'm kind of trying to compensate a little bit with this shield, and I got it enough where I could, but that sword's a big deal. The rest is pretty self-explanatory in terms of equipment. You're just using what people are best with. Keep in mind, this is a zap damage heavy fight. So things like zap potency is going to be quite good. Without further ado, let's jump into the fight. So I'm going to be honest, this fight is tight. It is very, very tight. So there is not a lot of wiggle room, and there's literally zero room for mistakes. If anyone gets a crit, when they're not supposed to get a crit, this fight is you got to start over. But the thing is, it costs 0 stamina, so it's totally fine if you have to run through this 3, 4, 5 times. If I do a couple failed attempts here, because again, it is a very difficult fight. I've practiced it multiple times, I've beaten it multiple times, but I still lose some, even though I know what I have to do. I'll just make a cut, and you guys will see a completed, like, normal run through this video, so you don't got to worry about it. All right, so let's get into the moves here and why we're doing them. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I got to include about like the equipment and stuff. I think we're good. You guys can see the equipment on the side. Everything is pretty self-explanatory. That sword is the exception. All right, so this is the exact positioning we want for all of our units. You could mix up this guy and this guy right here, but I don't really like that as much. I do like having this here. I don't think there's a real reason. I think these two could be changed, but that's not important. Let's just get into it. Everyone else, keep them exactly where they are. I'm gonna go down to not normal speed. Let's be humans. Fast speed. All right. Normal speed is just there so you can laugh. All right, so our whole strategy, this whole entire strategy is based on Lyrilout protecting the whole team and getting this fucker right here to stand right here in this exact spot. We need him to get over here. That way he can only hit one unit and Lyrilout can protect the whole team without them being able to surround us. And because if this guy gets into a corner, like if you had, if he was able to get in, you know, kind of like the Dragon Lord, he has like these AoE really powerful attacks. So what we're gonna do is these moves are designed to manipulate the AI. And this first move here will show you exactly how tight this fight is. This guy, our guy right here, is at max awakening. All right, he's at max awakening with 614 HP. And 177 defense. This is very important. Keep this in mind. When we hit weight here, they're going to magic barrier. Yes. We're going to see it next turn. I'm sorry. But we're going to move this guy down here. Move it down here. Move it over here. Wait. We're going to move you up. Get you into position. We're going to move you up. Get you into position. We don't need to cover yet. But check this out right here. This is pretty crazy. We're going to move right here, and then something relatively interesting happens. 601 damage. Would you look at that? It's been 601 damage exactly every time I've done it. We're at 13 HP. That's why I'm saying this fight is tight. There is not a lot of room for error in this fight, and there's not a lot of room in terms of the unit's power. So Conador needs to be able to survive this hit for the strategy to work. So that's one of the things you got to do. You might have to re-roll some equipment. You might have to get extra awakening. You might have to try to cast buff on him. I don't know if Kabuff actually... I don't think Kabuff protects against magic damage. So maybe if instead of this slime here, the slime hasn't felt 100% essential yet in terms of the healing is essential. But you might be able to take a slime that has like a magic boost or something, like a magic defense to kind of compensate here. That's something you're kind of gonna have to mess with a little bit, but Condor surviving that attack is huge. We're gonna have the rest of these units wait here, or this one and this one rather wait here. You might think you're gonna heal. Nope. That unit is safe for the rest of the fight. Well, that's not true. They're not safe for the rest of the fight, but they're safe for a while. We're gonna have Mr. Leroy Jenkins over here. Block it. Leary Lout. We just call him Leroy Jenkins, or just Leroy. Magic barriering up this guy. Sizz, see, our guy is safe. All right, so now you're gonna come over here, and you are going to give a good old fat heal here. You don't need to do a mega heal there. And now you're going to move up one square. This is another turn that's very tight. After this, we've gotten a lot of we don't have any free turns, but we're kind of in the clear, so to speak. Things can still go wrong with crits and whatnot, but let's take a look here. Because Sizz hits, so this is a big hit, and this hit matters a lot right here. Perfect. He did exactly what we wanted. Now, this guy is basically going to be using mid-heal for the rest of the fight, and this is why it's very important to not cast Kabuff. There was a point earlier in the fight you can hit 3 units with Kabuff. That might seem tempting. He doesn't have the mana to spare. Don't do it. He does not have any excess mana in this fight. So now we've got the fight set up exactly how we want it. Right? Nothing can move. We've completely blocked them off. Their AI is telling them they have to move forward to hit us here. I am going to use the heal here. I don't know exactly how vital it is, but the buff could be better, but I actually don't think the buff is needed for any part of the fight besides maybe at the end. Things can get at the very end of the fight, things can get a little crazy. Like for sure. But you should, if things go wrong, it's kind of like the Mucifer situation from the Killing Floor thing, where like if they snooze you in that fight, you know, you could still win, but you'd rather have this not get snoozed. You can get killed at a time here you really don't want to be killed, but you should still be able to pull through and win. But again, it's very, very close. All right, so now these guys, we're laying in the zaps. We're laying in the zaps. We're laying in the zaps. Let's take a look here. Just keep healing. We are coming up to a turn where this guy's not going to hit us, and we might have a good chance to buff, just to protect us from some. He's going to switch to magic mode, though. So this guy has three phases. The first phase, the second phase, and the third phase. The second phase, he casts magic. The third phase, he becomes a god. So yeah, we probably could have gotten away with a normal heal instead of a big heal in the last one. I actually think we can get away with a normal heal here. I'm kind of going slightly off the strat, but you have to squeeze in a normal heal here to have a big heal when you need it the most. This is kind of the easy part of the fight because he's going to be casting a lot of magic, and our units are very resistant to what he's doing. And now you can see he had the magic power defense plus like for the whole fight. It's now completely off, and now we're actually getting in for decent damage. Also, we'll kind of go over unit replacements, I suppose. I probably should have already done it, but hypothetically, let's talk about it now. There's like a monkey thing. I don't remember exactly what it's called. You know what? I'll just pull it up after the fight. You're absolutely right, guys. I'll show you because it's a perfect unit for this fight, but it's an A unit, and to keep this 100% budget, I wanted to make sure to not use any A units that were gotchas, because A is when you become much less likely to get what you want. It's much harder to get A gotcha units than it is to get B. B, you're just, everything's based. If you pull like all your 30k gems and you don't save them for like the 6-month anniversary or whatever, you're going to be getting pretty much a lot of the bees fully awakened. So right now, I don't want to actually, like, I know like this is kind of just playing itself right now, but I don't want to lose focus at the same time, because again, a wrong move at the wrong time and the whole fight's over. And then I got to make a cut. And I'd like to do this in one dilly do. Dilly do is the Dragon Quest Tact official dialogue for time management. Look, I don't know what I'm talking about right now, okay? I'm so into this fight right now. I'm trying to be entertaining at the same time, and I'm just not, all right? So what's actually really cool about this fight as well is these slimes feel like they just have infinite MP, but they do not have infinite MP. Right as this fight is ending, and it's becoming very, very important. This fight is like, the originator of this strategy is a genius. It's not me. I had nothing to do with the strategy. I want to confirm again. But the community as a whole found this strategy, which is incredible. Because the slimes run out, enemy slimes are going to run out of MP right as they need to run out of MP for us to be able to win this fight. All right, so this guy is going to start going Super Saiyan mode, phase 3 in a second here. Now, phase 3, scary. Phase 3 is indeed scary. We're going to full heal here. Again, I know. We're down to 90 MP. Zap. I really think I need to squeeze in a buff here. I think we do a buff here. It's a little sketchy, but I think this guy's going to skip his turn on this turn to go into phase 3 because his HP is low enough, which is hugely important to get a buff in while you can. On turn 10, this guy's going to hit us, and it's going to hurt. He did go into the form, so we get a free buff there, which is important to make sure that he survives what's about to come up. Or maybe not survive, but, you know, keep things going in a relatively appropriate thing. All right, so we're going to Believe it or not, we're gonna Zapple. It would be so annoying to misclick in this fight. So far, no one's gotten any crits, which is totally reasonable. You don't expect crits, but most importantly, none of the enemies have gotten crits, which is what we care about. So we do have a buff. So one cool thing about buff is it is a +2. It's a great, you know, instead of 1 stage, it's 2 stages out of the 3 maximum, which is great. All right, turn 11. This is a big turn. Boom. Crackle slash. Ain't got nothing on us. We are good to go. I think if you don't buff there, actually, I think that's why blue slime is so important, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is if you buff on that turn, you will be able to keep that guy alive with the +2 buff. As you can see, this is like when you're going budget, this is very important to keep in mind. There's normal strategy, you know, in games like this, where you develop a strategy and you go and you kind of do your best to exploit their weaknesses and whatnot like this. But when you're going this budget against a fight that's this hard, this is a gacha game, right? It's designed in a lot of ways to encourage you to spend money. You can get power in exchange for money in a lot of situations. There's obviously limits on that, yada yada. We all know that. But when you're using B units, like quote unquote weak units, you know, E units, F units, like things like this, and you're going up against the hardest or the second hardest content the game has, this is the kind of stuff this is where the game will move away from tactics and strategy and become more about not exploits. This is all 100% in the game, but it's like mathematical, calculated, perfect execution with the perfect units at the perfect stats, right? It's not something that you intuitively adapt to and learn and kind of figure out how you go. These strategies are much, much harder to do when you're at this budget level. Look at that. We don't even need to heal. This is crazy. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're going to continue trying to play free to play and budget and at the same time beat the hardest content the game has, these are the kind of things that you're going to have to kind of figure out, or you're going to really need to plug yourself into the community so that you are able to figure this stuff out basically as a team. When you're at, again, this level, this becomes a team game 100%. We're going to stay right there. He's out of mana. Heals are done. The 2 slimes are out of MP, but this is, as you can see, maybe one person could figure this out. Someone smarter than me. I'm not that smart, but I would never figure out these exact units and this exact strategy, right? Like, unless you spend 100 hours of your life to do it, which is just unrealistic, right? So, but this is where, you know, 1,000, 10,000 people, you know, all these people in a Discord doing this fight, you know, hundreds of thousands of times in between all of them, you could slowly develop this strategy. It's like, oh, I can get the AI to move over here. If we can get him here, someone will come up with the ideas like, maybe we can get him in this corner, but I don't know how to do it. And then this guy's like, this guy can move forward, and I know he moves over there. So it's all these people working together. And so if you want to continue doing a free-to-play route, I highly recommend getting in the Discord, connecting to the community. It's going to be very, very important. Or just watch my videos and I'll plug in for you, okay? Because obviously I'm gonna keep making videos on this. So this fight's turned out fantastic. This is so far perfect fight. No errors, nothing has gone astray, and in fact, it's actually gone better than any of my practice fights, which is unbelievable. And we even got a crit at the end to ensure all 5 units live. That's insane. I've not beaten that. You can see right there, clear with no one dying. Not done that. Now, this team is not going to clear it in 5 turns. It's not going to clear it in 10 turns. It's not going to clear it in any turns less than what you just saw, unless the 1 in 1 trillion chance where every attack you do is a crit, which is, of course, never going to happen. Well, that's that. Man, what an insane fight, right? It's a really fun fight, and it's really cool. And it's actually, so when you're going through it the first time and you have more paid units and you're kind of able to brunt some hit and you're kind of able to not know the fight inside out, it's so fun to see these phases come up. Extra movement, he starts casting spells, then he starts doing these insane attacks. The whole fight is really, really fun and well done. But man, that strategy is insane, right? So happy we did it, guys. If you want to do it, get these units at these stat levels. That's why I've included the stats on the side there. The weapons themselves are all pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be able to get most of them from the Battle Road, and the Fire Sword is from the Dragon Quest I event. And besides that, big PP, prism peacock, the big peacock, peacock. I'm trying to make a penis joke here. I don't know. The point is, we're gonna take that PP next. You know what I'm saying, guys? And until next time, maybe not next. All right, I'm talking out of my ass there. We're gonna try. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna figure it out. But we're gonna start doing all other kinds of content. We still got to do the videos about clearing hell. Still got to do things like unit reviews. Eventually, I'm gonna do a poll video. Someone said they suck, and I kind of agree. I don't love poll videos, but every now and then, I think they're actually really, really fun. Plus, it gives me an excuse to make a video when I'm already gonna do a giant poll. Anyway, friends, that's it for today. Purplatypus is Purplatypus, and I will catch you guys next time. Actually, you know, leave questions, comments, concerns, all that shit in the below. If you like this video, leave a like. You already gave me the view, which is the most important thing. I gotta say, the reason I'm making these videos is 100% because the feedback has been really, really good, and the comments have been very, very positive, and the like ratio has been really, really good. Like, the community is saying that they want to see more of this, and so if you do want to keep seeing more of this, doing your part to make sure that other people see the video that might need it, or just leaving a like, comment, and that stuff is a big deal. Thank you so much. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. See you next time.